we are up to the sheet pan meal of our menu, which I love sheet pans because if I haven't told you guys this before, I don't like dirty dishes. Hate them. So this is a favorite because it dirties, a cutting board and then basically one other pan. And so I want to show you a couple options here. So sheet pans, this is our smallest sheet pan. And then we've got this middle size, just kind of give you an idea. Okay, and then the one that we'll actually be using is this massive one. Okay, so there's some different options, and our sheet pans are really heavy. That's good. You want them heavy because if they're thinner, they will, kind of in the oven with the temperature change. These will not do that. They've also got the lip on them, which makes, serving with a spatula really, really easy. So you're probably wondering, why are you showing me all these sheet pans? So the reason I'm showing you these sheet pans is because for this meal or any other sheet pan meals that we do, you really have the option of, kind of picking and choosing the size that you want to make. So if you're cooking for 6, you're going to use the big one. If you're cooking for 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 people, you're going to look, for something a little bit smaller. And then the middle one, obviously, is kind of in the middle. So this recipe is literally 3 ingredients, plus olive oil and our seasoning, salt and pepper if you wish, but I'm going to say that's kind of a standard across the board. So easy. Easy to pull together and very seasonal. Love the flavors of fall in this one, the sweet potatoes, the apples, things like that. Okay, so we're gonna get going here. So a couple options here. I have roasted these for just a little bit because I just cut them. So when you're looking to make your sweet potatoes, you are looking to cube them, about like this. If you wanna speed this process up, you can take an entire sweet potato, poke it with holes, throw it in your microwave for maybe 2 to 3 minutes. It is not going to fully cook it, but it is going to soften it and make that cooking time a lot faster. Cooking from complete scratch, you're probably looking at about 40 minutes of cooking time. So I roasted these for just a little bit, so they are done. And now everything else will add to this and finish. If you throw your sweet potato in the microwave, you are going to cut that cooking time down to about 20 to 25 minutes, which keeps you in the 30 minutes or less. Okay, so therefore we deliver what we have promised. So everything's just going on a sheet pan. Okay, so here is our sweet potatoes, and then we are gonna add our pork chops. Okay, and we get our meat from some local farms, and so I didn't put them in the Ziploc, and they're massive. Okay, so I'm only gonna put 4 on this pan because you can already see I'm gonna run out of room. Okay, and we'll just move everything. If you have frozen these and thawed them, they already are gonna have your olive oil and your seasoning on them. You're just literally gonna dump them on here. You'll be ready to go. But because I grabbed them just out of the package, they're not seasoned. So what I'm gonna do, the bottom of my pan was already oiled. I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil to the top and also to the potatoes. And then I'm gonna use my rosemary herb seasoning just right on the top of the pork chops. Okay, if you want to season everything, you absolutely can. But I am gonna go with this one. I'm gonna do a little heavier rosemary, the rosemary herb on the pork chops, and then I'm just gonna do salt and pepper on the potatoes, okay? And I'm not gonna salt and pepper the apples. So it's totally okay that these are, stacked up and making a mess. I'm gonna set this aside for just a moment, and then we're gonna cut our apples, okay? So easy. Okay, so cutting board, you can use a knife. You also can use this handy dandy apple wedger. So simple, just line up the stem of the apple in the center of this, and then If it's a softer apple, you'll just be able to cut right down like that. Just gonna grab a bowl here for a second. Okay, and then those all come off like this. You will take your core out, toss that. If it's a little more of a crunchy apple, you may need to kind of rock this back and forth just a little bit. Once you get it started though, it's pretty simple. Look at that. That one came out super clean. There's all my apples done and in the bowl. And I'm gonna go ahead and do quite a few apples. We have a lot of apples right now, and I love cooked apples with pork chops. They go so well with pork chops, and also the sweet potatoes in this, so it's gonna be super easy. Okay, and these are not super massive apples. Okay, for this, I chose a little bit softer of an apple for no other reason than they'll just cook a little softer. And the crunchy apples I had in the fridge were very large, so these will cook a little better. Okay, another option, if you do not like all your foods touching together, you could put these in a saucepan, frying pan, put a little bit of water. You can even add cinnamon if you want. Cook them, kind of simmer them. I would add a little bit of water to the bottom so they kind of steam. And then if you use your mix and chop or you know, any other kind of a smushing tool, very technical, you can make just applesauce, fresh applesauce, which will go really awesome with this. So I know some people don't like everything touching. So if you are not wanting to put your apples and potatoes and everything all together, that would be an option for you. But if it doesn't bother you, I'm just simply adding my apples on the top, okay, all over, making a mess. And that is going to be it. Okay, so there is the meal. I'm going to put this back in the oven. It's going to take about 20 to 25 minutes, mostly due to the massive pork chops that I have. So if you do not have a meat thermometer, I would recommend kind of cutting them at the end just to make sure they're cooked all the way through. If you do have a meat thermometer, you can use this handy dandy little probe, stick it in there. And this one, I really appreciate Pampered Chef thinking of people that forget everything, because right on here, they actually have told you for pork, if you want it done to a medium, you're gonna want a 145 reading, Fahrenheit, 63 Celsius. If you want it well done, 160. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna go for the 160, maybe even 165 a little bit, just with the size of these. Just remember on your meat thermometer, you wanna go to the inmost part of the meat, and you do not wanna go all the way through. So if you kind of take, right, like when we were in science class, right, you take those cross sections, that's the point that you wanna find in the meat. You know, halfway through this way, halfway through that way, you just wanna, you know, kind of push that in and get your reading on that. So easy to do. If you have questions about this, don't hesitate to let me know. But this will be really handy to just make sure that your food is done. Again, if you do not have a meat thermometer, no big deal at all, but I would recommend just take a knife and just cut kind of that cross section spot of your pork chops again, just to make sure everything is nice and well done on the inside. And then you're ready to go. This literally is, again, a one dish. So let's count. If I wasn't filming this, I would be using one sheet pan, one cutting board, one knife, and my apple wedger, which is could be an optional, 4 things that I've gotten dirty. One pan, you know, minimal ingredients, very seasonal. Love this. This is also a meal. If you really wanted to, you could do this on your grill. You know, you could foil pack your potatoes or use like the cast iron sizzle skillet for the potatoes, the apples, and the pork chops, same kind of thing. So I'm gonna throw this in the oven and we'll check in when it's all done. Thanks, guys.